Hi, my name is Doran.MPG. I'm here to talk to you about the transfer of Cal Poly to the semester system from the quarter system that we're currently on. My claim is that converting to the semester system will harm the academic sections of the university. This includes students that are currently attending the school, students that will in the future attend school, and the teachers. Students that are currently attending the school will have to take additional advisement in order to cope with the transfer from the 10-week quarter schedule to a 15-week semester schedule, and have to replan their course schedules for the rest of their curriculum. And this mainly affects people that are on the 4 or 5 year pledge, and will eventually, or might eventually lead to postponement of graduation date. According to a Q&A on the Cal Poly website, they say that it is not possible to guarantee every unit would count from students that are currently attending the school, which means that you may have to repeat courses that you've already taken because units didn't transfer. Future students also have to deal with this conversion because they will average an additional class per semester than they do per quarter now. And one more class with its assignments and tests each quarter can be substantially more difficult than the course load we have now. And according to studies done about transfers to the semester system, there could be a 10 to 15% increase in the number of classes over 50 students, and this was demonstrated in schools such in states like Minnesota, Georgia Tech, and Utah State. Additionally, tuition fees will be higher per installment, and this is more difficult for people with financial aid or lower incomes. Thirdly, the faculty also suffers from the conversion because faculty will not have time to convert their schedules to the 15-week curriculum as opposed to a 10-week curriculum. And according to the same Q&A from the Cal Poly website, there would be no sufficient funds to pay for conversion of individual courses, and therefore this additional work would be done on the professor's spare time. After transferring to the semester system, faculty will be required to teach 4 3-unit courses per semester rather than 3 4-unit courses for a semester, which means one more course to prep for and less time overall. So to wrap up what I was saying, current students will suffer because courses that they've taken may not count completely towards their major, and they will have excessive planning that will have to be done before the transfer. Future students will have larger classes and higher workloads, in addition to larger installments for tuition, and faculty would have to convert their curriculums on their spare time and for no additional pay. Thank you.
All right, you've got a very clear statement of what the proposition is at the beginning, and I thought you had a pretty sedate layout of what the substructure was. It was clear, it's not overemphasized. So that's fine as a preview. I did think that you needed to have the signposting be a little bit stronger on the internal part of the speech. If people are listening closely, they should be able to pick out what you're talking about. But remember that not everybody listens the same way, and so sometimes you need to force the issue a little bit and use the numerical signposts. It won't hurt your presentation, I think, and it'll help bring in a lot more of the casual listeners who are perhaps involved in something else. One thing that you do, though, very effectively at the end of the speech that helps is you've got an excellent summary of the argument, kind of reviewing what the conclusions were on the individual points. And so even those casual listeners who were tuning out while you were speaking and didn't hear you get to that second or third point, if they are paying at all attention toward the end of the speech, you get one last shot at convincing them and making the point. I think the evidence, is a little thin. You've got a couple of places where you're having to rely on the Q&A online, and I don't know how authoritative that is. I do think that there are probably some issues that are very hypothetical in nature. You explained a couple of the hypotheticals on the first and second point. But for instance, on the second point, when you were mentioning the thing about installment plans and paying and those kinds of things, it's largely a claim without even a hypothetical example on it, so I'm not sure that it's really going to be a problem for anybody. The issue for the instructors, you do have the basic facts about the number of classes and the number of units that's going on, but you haven't contrasted it to the hours that would be available to them and how long the breaks would be, and so I think that there are probably a lot of other issues that apply here. And one of the other issues is how complicated was it for instructors to adapt to a quarter system in the first place. People who have been teaching in the quarter system switching to the semester system, that might be a problem, but there might be a lot of people, for instance, I don't know, part-time people especially, who are teaching under both systems, like I am, so I'm not sure it's all that complicated for somebody in my situation, but somebody who's only taught in the quarter system, maybe there would be problems there. But it's also a one-time problem. It's not like it's a problem that's going to happen every quarter or every semester. It happens the one time that everybody has to adjust. So I'm not sure that there's a big dispute on that. I thought you did a nice job talking to the audience pretty calmly and deliberately, summarizing the ideas at the end, like I said, really helped quite a bit. All right, thank you.